Lizzie Borden took an axe and gave her mother 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41. This eerie rhyme is infamous worldwide, but behind the nursery rhyme lies a grisly reality. On a fateful August morning in 1892, Andrew and Abby Borden were brutally murdered in their own home in Fall River, Massachusetts. The main suspect? Andrew's youngest daughter, Lizzie. But the tale doesn't end with a crime scene or a courtroom. The Lizzie Borden House is said to be one of the most haunted locations in America, drawing ghost hunters and thrill seekers alike. People report hearing footsteps in empty hallways, witnessing shadowy figures glide through rooms, and feeling an icy presence that chills the soul. Was Lizzie Borden a cold-blooded killer? Why does her case still fascinate us more than a century later? And what is it about the house on 2nd Street that continues to draw the curious, the brave, and the superstitious? Welcome to the Lizzie Borden House, a modest yet infamous structure forever tied to one of the darkest chapters in American history. At first glance, this two-story Greek Revival home seems ordinary, quaint even. Yet its layout, with cramped, interconnected rooms and no central hallway, created the perfect setting for tragedy. This house, a witness to unspeakable violence, has since become a place where the past and present seem to collide. It's a site where the blood-soaked events of 1892 still linger in the collective imagination, and where some believe the restless spirits of the Borden family remain trapped. But how did this house become a focal point for such intense fascination? What really happened here on the morning of August 4th, 1892, and why does this case continue to captivate people more than a century later? At the center of this mystery is Lizzie Borden, a quiet, church-going Sunday school teacher who would become one of the most infamous names in true crime history. Did she brutally murder her father and stepmother in cold blood? Or was she a scapegoat, condemned by public opinion and the patriarchal norms of her time? The story of Lizzie Borden is as enigmatic as it is chilling. Life inside the Borden home was far from idyllic. Andrew Borden, a wealthy but frugal man, ruled his household with an iron fist. His daughters, Lizzie and Emma, had grown to resent their stepmother, Abby, whom they believed was scheming to inherit their father's wealth. The family dynamic was tense, with arguments over money and property driving a wedge between them. In the days before the murders, strange things began happening. On August 3rd, the family fell mysteriously ill. Abby confided to a friend that she feared someone was trying to poison them. The arrival of John Morse, Andrew's brother-in-law, added another layer of unease. His unexpected visit raised eyebrows, especially when the murders occurred just hours after he left the house. The morning of August 4th began like any other, or so it seemed. Bridget Sullivan, the family's maid, went about her chores while Lizzie lingered in the house, claiming she felt unwell. Andrew left for his morning errands, and Abby began tidying the guest room where John Morse had stayed the night before. What happened next remains a chilling mystery. Sometime between 9 and 10:30 a.m., Abby was attacked in the guest room. Her killer struck her repeatedly with a hatchet, leaving her lifeless body face down on the floor. When Andrew returned home around 10:30 a.m., he was similarly attacked while resting on the living room sofa. His injuries were even more severe, with his face so badly mutilated that he was nearly unrecognizable. Lizzie was the one to raise the alarm, calling out to Bridget, who was resting upstairs. Yet, her story was inconsistent. She claimed not to have heard or seen anything, even though she was in the house during both murders. The murders stunned Fall River. Investigators quickly turned their attention to the small, insular Borden household. Suspicion initially fell on John Morse, given his sudden arrival the night before. However, his airtight alibi eliminated him as a suspect. The maid, Bridget Sullivan, claimed she had been outside washing windows during the murders. This left only one person, Lizzie. Then came Lizzie's behavior, which many found strange. She appeared calm, even indifferent, as she answered questions from the police. She gave conflicting accounts of her whereabouts and seemed disturbingly calm, even as her neighbors and the authorities swarmed the house. When asked if she had heard anything unusual, Lizzie replied, "I heard a groan or a distressing noise, but I thought it was nothing." The following day, August 5, investigators discovered another disturbing detail. Lizzie had allegedly tried to purchase prussic acid, a highly lethal poison, just days before the murders. The burning of her dress just days after the murders raised even more suspicion. Lizzie claimed it was ruined by paint, but investigators believed it was an attempt to destroy evidence. Complicating matters further were the conflicting witness accounts and lack of physical evidence. The hatchet found in the basement was believed to be the murder weapon, but it bore no traces of blood or hair. By August 6, Andrew and Abby Borden were laid to rest. Their funeral procession passed by Andrew's business on South Main Street before arriving at Oak Grove Cemetery. Lizzie's detached demeanor during the service did little to quell the growing suspicions against her. As days turned into weeks, the case against Lizzie grew stronger. On August 8, investigators grilled her about the events of that fateful morning. Her testimony was riddled with inconsistencies, fueling speculation that she was hiding something. On August 11, Lizzie was officially arrested and charged with the murders of her father and stepmother. She was sent to Taunton Jail, where she would remain until her trial. The arrest sent shockwaves through Fall River, dividing public opinion. Some saw Lizzie as a victim, an innocent woman wrongly accused. Others believed she was a cunning killer who had finally been caught. Lizzie Borden's trial began in June 1893 and quickly became a national spectacle. Crowds gathered outside the courthouse in New Bedford, and newspapers across the country printed sensational headlines about the case. The prosecution argued that Lizzie's strained relationship with her stepmother and her desire for financial independence gave her motive. They pointed to her contradictory statements and the burned dress as evidence of guilt. The defense, however, painted Lizzie as a victim of circumstance. They highlighted her status as a respected churchgoer and argued that no woman of her standing could commit such a brutal crime. After weeks of testimony and intense deliberation, the jury returned a verdict: not guilty. Lizzie was acquitted, but the court of public opinion was far less forgiving. Following her acquittal, Lizzie and her sister Emma moved to a new home in Fall River dubbed Maplecroft. But life was never the same. Lizzie became a social pariah, ostracized by the community and nicknamed Lizzie the Axe. She lived quietly until her death on June 1, 1927, but the mystery surrounding her never faded. The Borden House, however, refused to let go of its dark history. Over the years, it has become a hotspot for paranormal activity. Visitors report hearing disembodied footsteps, ghostly whispers, and sudden cold spots. Some claim to have seen shadowy figures moving through the rooms where Andrew and Abby met their untimely ends. Today, the Lizzie Borden House operates as a museum and bed and breakfast, drawing true crime enthusiasts and ghost hunters from around the world. It stands as a chilling reminder of the unsolved murders that forever altered the lives of the Borden family and the town of Fall River. So, was Lizzie Borden a cold-blooded killer or an innocent woman wrongly accused? The truth may never be known, but the fascination with her story endures, keeping the legend of the Lizzie Borden House alive. If you enjoyed this dive into one of America's most infamous cases, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out my other videos. There's another chilling mystery waiting for you on the screen right now. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.